So we open up our scene this time with a. It's kind of like a distorted feel. It looks like we're looking into a mirror, and we're seeing these shapes kind of moving and out of focus. Just hard to kind of determine what they're doing, but we can tell that the shapes are getting larger. They're kind of like approaching the camera through this kind of very opaque vision of this mirror. And as things start to kind of get a little bit bigger to where these dark shapes approach, and it's kind of filling up the mirror of what we can see, all of a sudden a foot lands right in front of us and steps onto the mirror, and it ripples, and we realize it's a puddle that we've been looking at. And a couple steps go by, and then another figure approaches, steps down, moves out of the way, and then the very last figure that steps down into this place is basically a taloned foot that lands onto the ground. And we realize that we look upwards and we see the shape of Rigo. And we realize that we're looking up towards a ladder that leads up into up above us into the street above, and we see the soft light of glowing lanterns kind of bathing us in this kind of like downward spotlight. So, welcome back to our episode as we start to see our heroes for the first time this week. They are making their way into the tunnels, so colloquially called the Rainbow Tunnels. Aw, look at that! Look at that! So called the Rainbow Tunnels for the reason that they are. For the reason that they have colorful children running around spraying finger paints everywhere. But no, they it's basically a place where there's these kind of magical chemicals that are churned about by elementals under the control of a group of wizards, and it causes the expulsion of like bad stuff that's in the water there. And it also gives room for tunnels to be utilized and leveraged for transportation, that sort of thing, beneath the city of Sapphire Harbor. So even though this place is really more of a canal city, it still has its set of tunnels and mysteries beneath it. And so our party of bardic magicians, or trying to think of something clever. I cannot think of something clever. Our party of bards has arrived into this destination looking for information about a missing halfling named Krim. Or I'm sorry, a missing gnome named Krim. So who's kind of like in the lead of this little adventure as you arrive into the tunnels?
I would be in the lead.
Oh, okay. Well, that works too.
Yeah. Well, clearly not me, because I was written as going last.
And I'm not in either, so Skaud or Anghyseinedd would be up front.
Yeah. Not even myself.
You guys can rearrange as you wish. But yeah.
Do we all have dark vision?
I have dark vision.
Yeah, I have dark vision.
I think Vyraxa.
But I also have light as a cantrip.
Mm.
Oh, I'm sorry. My light is called Luke Saturna.
Hey.
Nice. I love the renaming of these spells. Yeah, I had thought so, but unfortunately, velociraptors do not have. I'm just kidding. Dragonborn do not have.
Okay, good to know. But I do have. Is it dark? Is it like really, really dark where we are? Or?
There's some faint lights in and around the tunnel structures here.
Okay, because I have dancing lights and I can cast that if needed. I'm just not sure.
Right.
I want to be doing that.
Right. Yeah. So the let's see here. That should work fine.
Oh, I have that same spell. I was gonna possibly do that and light you all up in different colors.
Actually,
nice,
cool.
Nice hashtag whoops.
Yeah, I was thinking, we'd be very colorful.
Yeah.
But no, so
that's the kind of color that sticks with you.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast dancing lights just because
I feel
I would like to have some lights.
Yeah, okay. Fairy fire or dancing lights might actually be better for where we're navigating, because it might blend in with the rainbow tunnels sites, basically.
Yeah, so I actually thought that we could. Oh my gosh, I thought that I could cast it on all of you, and then we could do that thing where you blend into the wall.
I feel like we're special. Like
I'm gonna
rats
cast
glowing.
Luke's Eterna on my tuning fork.
Okay. So and then remind me, Vyraxa, do you have a light source with you as well, or are you kind of depending on?
I'm depending on that, but I mean, I would have the basic little carry-on, carry-all bag with me at all times of random things that might be needed, like writing utensils and a flint and that kind of deal. Actually, you know what? Probably not. I can blow flame. That's not a thing. If I want to light something, I'm gonna light something on fire.
Right.
So dancing lights and my breath of fire are probably all I really worry about.
Okay.
When I cast Luke's Eterna, I actually sing pitches into my tuning fork to cause it to go alight. So I sing a series of pitches that make it light up in a sense. So that's kind of how I do it. It has to go on an object of some sort. So
okay,
that's why. Yeah.
So and then you have multiple objects, right? That are kind of like, oh no, that's fairy fire. Sorry, dancing lights. I'm scrolling through the wrong one. Blam. So all right, so torch sight. You create up to 4 torch lights within range. Make them appear as torches, lanterns, or glowing orbs. Or as you were talking about, a little bit something different. So yeah, so you've got multiple objects. How many are you looking to create at this point?
You talking to me?
Whoever is casting Luke's Eterna.
Oh, that's
no. Wait, well, Luke's Eterna only does 1.
So he's got that on his.
Yeah, Luke's Eterna is only 1, and it goes on an object, whereas Dancing Light is multiple. So
okay, so you're not. So you haven't started Dancing Lights yet, right, Vyraxa?
I cast that. That's a little bit higher up, so I did go ahead and cast that.
Okay.
And that would be 4 of them.
Okay.
4 lights that are just nothing fancy, just kind of glowing orbs. I'm going with that. Hovering a little ways ahead of us. 3 of them a little ways ahead of us, and 1 behind us.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Very cool. Very cool. Let's see here. Science. So let's see. So you've got little orbs, huh? Let's see what we got here. All right. Let's see how this looks when I put it here. Not too bad. Not too bad. Okay. And then what's the range on the lights that are emitted from there?
Let me see here. They are each shed a dim light in a 10-foot radius. And as a bonus action, I can move them up to 60 feet in any direction. I would basically just have them moving along with us. And then the lights have to be within 20 feet of each other, or of at least one other light. So the one behind us can be no more than 20 feet away from one of the ones in front.
Got it.
But I mean, we're only, 4 of us, so that shouldn't be a problem.
Got it. All right, that's perfect. So let's see. Let me make sure you can see that. All right. That will work. Slide perfect. And I'll add. So you have how many again? 3?
4. 3 up front, 1 behind.
Son of a. All right. So cool. Do that. This one will be back here. All right, I think that will do it. Perfect. Okay, so if I need it, then I have this kind of set up for everyone, so they'll be able to.
You're so detail oriented.
Be able to check it out.
Makes me happy.
Yeah. It's fun sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, so
Be the curse of your existence as well.
Yeah, exactly, right? No, you don't. So yeah, so you guys have come down into the rainbow tunnels. Now, there's obviously this kind of smell of water and some of the things that may be in the water, but it's not as intense as you would expect in a canal city. In fact, some of the smells you may have perceived down in the high water district, where we talked about that being kind of like the low rent district where all the dockyard workers and sailors and warehouse owners and stuff dwell. You've had some pretty worse some worse smells there than you have down here for some odd reason, but yeah. So you make your way down this tunnel here, and this little section that you're in is basically, it's not that how should I say, it's not so claustrophobic that you would think that, oh, you got to go single file here. It's actually broken out into larger like paving stones and gives kind of like an arched barrel vault type feel above you. And there's a graffiti here and there of gnomes gone by or the other denizens of this area. So who here is the one that said they've been in this particular section of the city?
I've been down here before.
Skaud.
I've made a couple excursions, probably nothing major.
Do you have a problem with enclosed spaces?
Me, not really.
No? Okay. All right. So I think for Skaud and maybe Rigo, then there's obviously the Svervef, for the undergnomes that are down here, the Sverveflin. I don't know how to pronounce it right. The other game knows that I call them Smurf Zeppelins, but we'll move on with that. But they are down here. They're the predominant folks that live in this area. However, there are other individuals like kobolds, xvarts, which are kind of like little blue-skinned individuals, and then other forms of creature, both natural and maybe even magical, that call this place home. But it's not some place you just tread normally. So it's a place that you want to be careful in. So just to kind of give you an idea. So you are down here to, let's just kind of refresh the audience. What's brought your party down to the Rainbow Tunnels?
It's to investigate another lost individual, a gnome who's known to frequent this area. Krim. Pronunciation.
The guy with the unpronounceable name.
Anghyseinedd can't even pronounce Krim.
Anghyseinedd, I say. Krim. Okay.
Gotcha.
To look for our buddy Krim.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. So tell me a little bit about your method of approach. Are you guys making a noise? What's been your approach down here before? Normally you're here with Krim, or by invitation, right? The folks who live down here, and if you guys want to take a look at it, the folks that live down here in the Rainbow Tunnels, there's a predominant gang that runs this space called the Five Strings, and it's run by an undergnome of interesting talents named Slash Marshall Amstack, and he is the one who calls this place home. Now, what's your approach? How are you making your way through this particular area?
Well, I was thinking we need to find Krim, so ask if anybody's seen him.
I mean, we might be able to find somebody who knows of him at least, but have a good idea of the activities he'd get up to around down here.
Right.
And this is where it usually enters, so.
I would definitely be perceiving. I have an expertise in perception, so I would be basically taking the pitch that's around me and perceiving what's ahead and what's around us using the pitch, kind of like echolocation, if you will.
Sure. Okay. I can dig it. All right. So do that, and then let me see here. Got, so you're kind of doing like a quiet thing, right? You're kind of making your way slowly. All right. So are you guys staying in a rough grouping together? Is that the the idea that I get.
My thought would be to stay together.
Yeah, not a great idea to split up, especially in the sewers.
Yeah.
I can't believe even in a canal city, we end up with a sewer level.
That's the interesting thing.
Just
right?
inevitable.
That's the interesting thing. So,
Fantasy.
So,
It's unreal.
It is actually unreal.
A world of possibilities, and somehow us as humans always end up with sewers.
That's right. How do I end up like this? I don't get it. I don't like it. I don't get it. I don't want it. So yeah. So okay. So you guys proceed forward. You are in the direction that you're kind of following. So how are you kind of tracking your way along? I know you're using the echolocation, so you, I would assume that it would be some form of a either tracking, which would fall under kind of survival.
Yeah, I can do a survival check if necessary.
What's your skill in that? I think I have a high one.
I have a 4 in survival, and I have a 7. I have a 4 in survival, and I have a 7 in perception. So,
Got a
Yeah,
5
somebody
in
else should
survival,
be
but
doing
only
those
a 3.
things and not me.
so can I roll a perception check? Would that be useful?
I would assume that would be amazingly awesome.
I would like to assist you by telling you that I'm supporting you in this task. Because I got 0 for perception. Actually, I have 2 for perception, 0 for survival.
So giving an assist, cool. So perception, you've got a 16, not too bad. So yeah, so you're kind of feeling your way along in the tunnels. There's kind of like there's an eerie kind of echoing going on here. Skaud and Rigo, you've probably experienced this before, but it's kind of like a really high pitched, like really fast kind of like strumming that's going on. It kind of like works its way along the tunnels, almost kind of like it's a sound that's clamoring along the walls and the barrel vaults above you. Why don't Skaud, why don't you give me a history check? Just kind of looking at some of the times that you've been down here, and that'll also give me an indication if you've run into them. 10. I think that this would be something that you would know, is that there's one of the denizens that live down here, the xvarts, that are these little blue-skinned creatures that are roughly the size of kobolds. But there's this one group in particular called the speed demons that are into creating like high-pitched, high frequency, high speed sounds, and they do it with both vocally, and they also do it with these little tiny like ukulele-sized guitars that that they use to great effect down here. So yeah, so that might be what that sound is that you're experiencing right about now.
So I'm definitely feeling the pitch, and I definitely hear the high pitch, and I'm like, guys, I hear something.
It's just as, how do you say that?
Xvarts.
Xvarts? Are they a problem?
Yeah, are they aggressive or anything?
I don't know. Who knows a little bit more about them now that the name has kind of been called out? Who here has a skill that might be useful in understanding who they are?
Performance to see what kind of song they're playing.
Animal handling. Just kidding.
Animal handling, yeah.
Just nature.
Is it a nature or is it a? I don't know what it would be.
A nature would mean that they would be beasts. So I don't know if that would.
I mean, but I don't have like I don't see one that refers to people necessarily.
Yeah,
Insight?
That's true. Yeah.
Insight.
Insight. I have a 3 in insight.
I'd say
it wouldn't be investigation or it wouldn't be history or religion.
Yeah,
so...
I'd say, you know what? How about like a wisdom check? Just a flat wisdom check.
Oh crap! So I have a -1.
So
somebody else should be doing this.
on your left hand side where your attributes are, why don't you just give me a wisdom check?
I've got a flat 0 in wisdom, so
that's better than me.
Oh, well, not bad.
Yeah.
Not too shabby.
Yeah,
not
there,
too
let,
shabby.
let's
Good
go
thing-
with that.
Good thing I didn't have disadvantage.
Joey,
what's a
This is not me rolling. I just really I'm very curious as to what's going to happen if I
Yeah.
do this.
So
Okay, I still got better than Anghyseinedd. With a -1.
so the so the Svart speed demon is it's a will you stop rolling terrible things? Oh, Skaud gets a 100. It gets Skaud crits it. Yeah.
He knows the history
So
of
I've
their
seen
entire
this
race
before.
from start to finish.
I know all the things.
So the Svarts that are down here are particularly nasty. They are what would be termed as vicious guitar fighters, who practice the art of a little known dark musical art called speed metal. And these Svarts, they travel in roving packs and led by what's called a Svart shrieker, who is kind of like their lead singer. And these roving packs will sometimes waylay individuals who are traveling in their realms and will challenge them to what's called a lethal licks contest. And whoever performs the best is declared the winner. And if it's the travelers, they are allowed passage. And if it's not, well, then the rest of the tribe descends upon them.
Okay.
So I am going to. Let me see if I need. There's enhance ability. Was that effect? What is performs off charisma, right?
Correct.
So if I did Eagle Splendor, that would enhance perform abilities.
Oh yeah, and I mean, if we are talking licks, we do have one of us with a keytar and one of us with a bass.
And
So
I'm
those
going
would
to be
both be-
carrying an ocarina.
I can channel my vocal abilities to literally cast Enjoy the Silence and silence their end. So they literally have no ability to lick.
Oh, that's cheating.
Oh, don't do that.
Enjoy the silence!
So I tell them that would be, because I've ran into these guys before, be a great offense, and they'd probably attack without a beat.
So our plan is what exactly?
Um,
Well, if
Plan is to be
we
at the ready.
if we run into them, then we're just gonna have to have a music off, a
Okay.
battle of the bands.
In which case, I will assist and also make lots of effects to make it look even more awesome.
Nice.
yeah, I'll get my Eagle Splendor ready.
So
Do that.
let's
Do that.
So let's do that's hilarious. So let's do this then. So you guys are I would assuming that you're trying to kind of travel relatively stealthy. We kind of talked about that beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
But so what is that? Let's see what that looks like. Are you? Let me see. I think what we'll do is we'll have you guys go ahead and roll stealth checks.
Hey
And
guys,
see
guess what
how
I've
you
got
wanna
in
do.
stealth?
0.
Hey, guess what?
Guess what? So yeah. So why don't you guys give me some stealth
Oh.
checks here?
Well, those were pretty cruddy rolls, but it's good because I have a +8 in stealth.
I
Nice.
got a critical failure.
Oh no!
Vyraxa.
Oh my gosh!
No, there's
dude.
two of us.
Oh no!
I trip and fall into Anghyseinedd and we just go crashing somewhere. I don't even know. That
How
was-
do
So,
group rolls work in 5e anyways? Is it like 75% have to pass? Or
That's not
it's-
75%.
I know that.
There is that part.
Oh gosh.
Did I roll
In this
2
case here,
ones?
as far as stealth goes, it's kind of like who's the loudest, who's the quietest. So I go off of like what the best roll is. You know, if it was a situation where you like, let's say the rogue was moving forward and like there was a scout in the party and said, "Well, do this and do that," then I would say, "Okay, give the rogue advantage because they're going off by themselves." But yeah, on this particular group check, it's a little bit different animal because you all are kind of doing your thing. So yeah, let's let's do this. I will burn you all down. No, I'm kidding. You all must die.
We all just fall into the sewers and drown.
Yeah.
Roll new characters.
So what's the order again? Remind me.
Be first.
Okay. So Anghyseinedd.
Second.
Anghyseinedd.
I'd be at the back because otherwise I'd be standing in front of Rigo and Rigo couldn't see a dang thing.
Right. Okay.
Rude.
Cool.
But true.
All right.
Valid.
So I am.
You get another offended squawk for that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hey.
Well, it's either that or you're like continually peering around me, squawking at me to get out of your way. So
Right.
I'll go with this option.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, let's do this. Let's go ahead and.
It's Skaud and I in the middle, and the two crit fail stealthies just stomping their way.
I'm like, what happened to enjoying the silence?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even cast Enjoy this time. Oh dear. Oh my.
All right. So here you are.
That's what I mean. You're not being
So I'm
silent.
thinking that I think everybody is kind of in that point where they're able to. At least I was hoping they were going to be able to see everything. Player see line, have sight. Maybe it's because I have you off of. Let's do that. There we go.
Oh hi.
There's light.
There it is. My fault,
I
guys. Sorry
don't
about
see
that.
it.
There we go. Rigo, let me check
I
yours.
haven't figured out how to do that yet myself.
Check
there we go.
yours.
Hello.
Boom. Has sight. And you have dark vision, right, Rigo?
I do have dark vision, yes.
All right. Blam.
It's like my first character ever with dark vision.
All right, so everybody can see now. Is that
Yep.
an accurate
Oh yes.
assessment? Good. Everybody should have control over their tokens. So yeah, so you guys are here, and I think as soon as what is it that Vyraxa does that causes there to be a problem?
I was gonna say that she just stumbles over something, but then I thought she could also sneeze and burst fire, which is really bad because then she'd light Rigo on fire.
No, my feathers.
I mean, that would definitely cause a chain reaction up the line, but that's probably not the best idea.
Could cause some
Yeah.
problems.
Which I would probably react the most based on my stealth roll.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe I just something happens and it goes over. It goes over their heads and zaps Anghyseinedd in the back of the head. That's what happened. Who knows?
Listen, Rigo's only 4'11". He's not that short.
Yeah, but what am I? I'm 6 foot something.
We work for a halfling.
How tall am I? I'm tall.
There's a dwarf in the party. I'm not even the shortest one in the party.
But I'm by far the tallest. So yeah.
It's not a party until you bust out the short jokes.
Okay.
Wah, 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 wah.
All right.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Okay, so I think that noise happens, whatever the noise is, and I think the music stops. And now all you hear is the occasional drip of some water in some area or something like that.
That's great.
So what do you do?
I get out. Well, I cast Eagle's Splendor, and I got my guitar, and I just
Pop that into the chat. Let's see what that looks like.
Okay. Let's see here.
perform. So that gives me the spell gives me what advantage on that?
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Let me close. So with advantage.
Yeah, you have advantage on charisma checks. I have the same spell, so I'm just referencing it from here. Oh, don't even know.
Okay.
All right.
Nice. So what's the goal here now? You're doing what now? You're
Basically
What's the
putting out the
goal?
challenge.
Yeah, you're laying
Yep.
out the challenge.
Okay, so if that's the case, If that is the case, let me see here. We are going to do. My only portable instrument is my little ocarina, which is, not so exciting, but it's portable. I am going to cast Fairy Fire on us so that we are now all like psychedelically glowing.
Right.
Because, we're not hiding from anything right now.
Yeah.
And it will add to our image. So let's see here. Not
We're
like
gonna
any of
put
us
on
were
a
trying
show.
to.
We are gonna put on a show.
Exactly right. So then we're going to. Let me see what this one does real quick. Okay. No, okay, so not yet, but I'd like to hold. Can I do a hold action? Okay, so
I mean, we haven't entered into initiative yet, so
right. So,
when we do,
what
yeah.
I'd like to do is I would like to hold off and casting hypnotic pattern as soon as any sort of group of people of any sort come into view.
Okay. Now, if you're going to be casting Fairy Fire, is Fairy Fire a concentration or an action?
Let me see.
It's concentration.
So
Yeah.
you're going to lose your dancing lights if you do
Okay.
that.
That's fine.
So, all right. So Fairy Fire.
I
each
can
object
see
within-
now because everyone's lit up in colorful things, so I'm okay with that.
Gotcha. Okay. So
Mm.
each object and creature in a 20-foot within cube. Each
I
object.
will.
in 20
I will
feet
mention.
within-
I do have major image, so
I think
can
I have
definitely-
minor. So
And
we
my
could-
light is still going, so it's still going.
Yeah, I have
My
minor
Luke's- my
illusions,
Luke's-
so we could coordinate something there.
oh yeah.
Hence why it's called Luke's Eterna, because it's ever going. I just
So I'll. So you have. Where do you have that cast at? Anghyseinedd?
I have it. It's a cantrip.
But I
Luke's
mean, is
Eterna
it
a-
like on what object is it on? Is it
It's still on my tuning fork.
tuning fork? Okay. So what I'll do is it's going to get dark here in a moment, but I'm going to activate. Players can see light. Perfect. So I can get rid of that and get rid of that. All right. So now everybody, including Vyraxa, now is going to have a bit of a glow. So I'll do that. So it's a 10-foot radius. Yeah, 10-foot radius, dim light. All players see light. I guess I'll just do this. All players see light. It's gonna be hard to like not see everything that's around here. Yeah, do that. All right, cool. I think we're all set. Yeah, I think we're all set. Okay. All right, so what do you guys do? You guys, the direction in which you were going is, mark it this way, was heading this way. There are these like kind of little, they're not quite like pillars, like little stone columns. You can, kind of work your way through them and around them. And then there's like a small little divide at the end, but you'll see that you can climb over. But so yeah,
as I'm
so
playing, I'll just keep playing and kind of go down that way
okay.
as it echoes down the hallway.
Gotcha.
I'm going right here and basically warming up my voice. So
Yeah, I've already got my my fear bow slung around. So
Okay, so I think as you guys come around, you see a. Let's see what you're seeing here. I don't know. What do you see over on the?
I see a couple mans, or I guess it could be womans. A couple blue guys.
Yeah, there's a couple of figures down at the end who are kind of they're kind of like hunched over like this, and they've got these like these blue heads, these blue skulls, and they've got knives out, but at the same time they've also got these little ukulele-sized guitars on their back, and they're watching you with these little beady, red, slightly glowing eyes.
Okay.
So how many of them?
Well, it depends on how many you can see.
I can only see 2.
Oh wait, why am I back here? I need to move here with you. Sorry, shift. Move.
Somebody's on top of somebody else. What happened? I lost one of the characters. So kind of like judging by what you're seeing here in the tunnel, there's like a little platform that Vyraxa's on right now, and then there's kind of a wall with an edge on it to your left, and then in front of you is kind of a place where you can hop down a couple of feet, and that's kind of where the water would normally flow through here. And these little stone plinths that are here along the left-hand side right there next to you guys is kind of a catch-all for things, like whatever. You can see kind of grime and like algae type looking things that are kind of built over there over time. The stone floor is a little moist, not too much. So maybe it was either drained or it's just the humidity that's keeping it that way. And then ahead of you, right about here, you're seeing like another little, like a 1 foot wall or 1 or 2 foot wall that you'd have to hop over. But yeah, that's what you see there. And I think you hear like a chittering, like high pitched laughter as you guys are there. So you guys can continue to the left. There's also a pathway towards the upper side as well.
I say we just keep going towards them.
Yeah. It's clear that they know that we're here.
Wailing on my guitar.
Okay.
Yeah, if we gotta show them who's boss to get through here unencumbered, then we might as well get that out of the way.
Okay. Maybe they'll give us information afterwards. Who knows?
Yeah. And I communicate that with kind of like a gesture and a little strum.
I'm waiting for you to pluck your own feather and use it as a quill pen.
Ouch! So yeah, so you guys continue. So go ahead and make your moves
Okay.
as you're moving forward. Just kind of go like maybe 2 or 3 boxes at a time.
I'm gonna go.
How do you do the movement with like measuring movement?
Oh,
kind of thing?
if you grab your token and you hold it and you move a box, tap the space bar, and then when you move another box, tap it again, and it'll kind of keep track of how far you're going.
You could also use the little ruler on the left-hand side to measure distances.
Yep, you can do that too.
I'm going to stay at the back of the group.
Just make sure there's nothing on the floor or anything.
You're seeing like along the floor and stuff. You see like there's something that kind of glints on the floor as you're passing over it, and you look down and you see a shattered guitar pick. It looks like it's been like broken in 2 or 3 pieces, and then you see one, and then you see like dozens of others, and it seems like it's kind of been caught up in this kind of sediment gathering spot. So yeah,
Sorry.
you see those. Yeah, no worries.
Oh, fun.
So I think like as you approach, one of them moves forward and holds up a little spindly fingered hand, and I think they say, "Heart, who goes there?"
Hammer time.
He like looks at you, and his ears kind of flap a little bit like this, and it kind of they're picking up and they're listening, and he looks over his shoulder at one of his companions, and he looks back and says, "Who is this? Hammer time."
So as soon as that, how many of them are there again?
However many you see.
I see 4 right now.
I see 4 right now.
Oh, I see. I'm not seeing. Hang on. Maybe I'm not scrolled out far enough.
That might be part of it, yeah.
I'm like, you guys are seeing. Oh, not so much better. I can see the rest of my
There
screen
we
now.
go.
Okay. I'm like, man, what are we seeing?
Ah,
Okay, therefore.
ah.
Okay, success. I've rolled a seeing throw. Okay. Man, what am I missing here? Okay. Hang on.
You're
Okay.
in our territory now. What is it that you're looking to do? Do you wish to play?
Okay, so can I?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. You can say what you want to say, and then I'll say.
I would say we're looking for Crim, and we're looking for passage.
Crim we know. You we don't. For those we don't. And he looks over and he laughs. Passage costs. It costs.
Okay.
And it costs this, and I wail really fast. And,
how far can I step within? Let's see. Could I go? Are these 5-foot spaces? 1, 2.
Yeah, each one's 5 feet.
Is that a wall?
It's like a little 2. It's like a little 2 foot.
Okay, so I could.
Like you glance over the side and you can see there's all this kind of like ugly looking, disgusting debris, mud caught on the other side.
And I can't. Can I see any more? If I'm standing here, any more of them, or just the 4 still?
I don't know.
I see 5. I see around the corner. How lovely.
There you go.
Okay.
How
All right.
lovely.
I would like to now cast.
Skaud, are you actually like playing something, or were you?
Yeah, I'm continuing the song I've been playing.
All right.
As sort of a challenge.
Actually, as I'm doing that, I will turn to the group and say, "Close your eyes," and then cast. So you guys all know to blink. So what happens is I step forward, and immediately this bright pattern of colors, kind of like crazy, Harry Potter-esque fireworks, go everywhere.
Nice.
It appears just for a second, and in that time, all of your little blue friends need to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh man.
If they fail the save, that they are charmed for the duration of my spell, which is, let's see how long, up to a minute.
Okay. All right.
They are incapacitated and have a speed of 0, so they're completely charmed, and we can just play for a minute and rock their brains out.
Nice. Okay. Each creature in the area who sees the pattern, is there a limit on how many? No. Wow.
Nope. Each creature. That's why I told everybody to blink.
Oh my gosh. Hard to play Speedy Rift with a speed of 0. Nice. All right. So we've got a group of wisdom saving throws that we have. Is that right? Okay. Here we go. So first one. We'll do them all public. So we'll kind of work our way from right to left. So the first one fails. My target number is again?
That's a good question. What is
so it's going to be your spellcasting target modifier. So if you go to your spells list, top right-hand corner, you'll see 400.
Spell save DC is 14.
14. All right. So I'll put a little mask on their face so that way we know. Okay. So next one. Here we go. Wisdom save, public. Blammo. Come on. Ah. Sucks. I don't like any of this. All right, next one, kind of the topish one there. So, blink. Come on, you silly xvarts.
Oh.
Dang!
Wrong one.
It's going well. I'm liking this.
Oh my goodness, this is just.
This is fun.
These guys are the worst.
I like where this is going.
I don't like it at all. Well, you know what? They have a -2 wisdom, so that doesn't help.
Oh,
doesn't help the situation. Blasted friggin' xvarts.
The only one that says any likely
All
chance is
right,
that one right near the back.
I think this one can see you, so I'll do the last one over on the left-hand side. Here we go. Come on. He's my superstar.
Nope.
No, he's not. Dang.
He's not.
All right. So,
Not your superstar.
I smile, nod, and then start playing on the ocarina, and along with everybody else who's playing along. Whatever. I know that Skaud's playing. Rigo, are you playing anything?
Oh yeah, heck yeah! Let's jam out.
Yeah, and then Anghyseinedd, are you singing along, or what are you doing?
I'm gonna start. I would like to do animal crackers.
Okay. He's making fun of the ones that are all staring charmedly at us. If that's a good word, charmedly.
I'm going to sing Animal Crackers, and I chose Panther to sing.
Okay.
Animal Crackers is a series of ditties that I've learned in my travels about making fun of animals because they're just weird. And so I have certain ones, and this one is called Panther.
Okay.
So anyway, I cast that it's a cantrip. I'm trying to figure out who I would be casting it on. Probably the one that's closest to me right now.
Mm-hmm.
So this one here.
Yes.
Okay.
And they would need to make a DC 15 Wisdom save, obviously.
They're gonna fail that one. Just
Looks like
you know,
it, huh?
I predict.
All right, let's see. Come on, 2020.
No!
my God, no! My goodness. So 4 points of damage to this little fella. Yeah. So in doing the damage, unfortunately, this also removes the hypnotic pattern on this little creature, and it's so all of them, I think, as the effect sunk in from Vyraxa's spell, they're just kind of like looking, and they're like watching, and their red eyes are kind of slightly glowing, or just kind of watching in awe as Vyraxa does her performance. And then they start to hear music, and they're kind of like listening to the music and everything, and then all of a sudden the one in the front just gets hit with this animal crackers, this horrible transmutation of mockery that's assaulting its ears, and it staggers backward, and you actually see like a little bit of like odd looking like reddish bruise, like musical notes kind of start splotching all over its face, and you see musical notes floating out of its ears and dripping like weird little drops of blood and stuff as it's trying to like shake off whatever Vyraxa did to it. And then it's like, let's get them. What are you? All right, let's roll initiative. So, so what you do, make sure you grab your token first, and then go to your character sheet, and then roll the initiative entry.
So I have to click the token?
Yes. So hold on to the token, or grab the token, and then go to your character sheet and roll
So
initiative.
it's basically so that your little bubbles are floating around your character.
Perfect. Exactly.
Woo. Yeah, those are not good initiative rolls.
Not really. I think we really have
But
more
they
have our
didn't do
hearts in the
much
music.
better.
They still did worse. They still did worse.
Yes.
So I think like what happens here is that you guys are like ready, and you're ready to like launch into your attack. I think what ends up happening is that you hear in the background, like further up the tunnel, you hear like this high pitched cackling laughter.
So they like to cheat the musical challenge. This does not stand.
And you
Told ya.
you hear a like the strum of a guitar, like a single strum, and the chord kind of echoes out through the tunnel. And I think that's when our episode fades to black, and we find out what happens in the horrible challenge of vicious licks occurs next
Goodness
episode.
gracious.
We
roll initiative, and then the episode ends.
And then the episode ends. I had to do some kind of cliffhanger.
You are on such a power trip with these.
Powerful. I'm the most powerful dungeon master ever. No.
These cliffhangers, man, you're killing me.
I know, isn't it horrible? But hey, when you get back, it's like right into the action. So, hey, again, thanks everybody for being here. It's a little bit of a shorter episode. We went longer last episode, but this is episode 2.2, and we will be going into the amazing conclusion, I'm sure, that these folks are going to put together of our trilogy of All-Bards episodes. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how they get their way out of this. I mean, that, you know what, they've had a really good start here. The hypnotic suggestion. We've got Skaud, who's like at the top of his charisma game right now. We've got animal crackers flying all over the place, and then Rigo is going to step up here and do something pretty amazing, I'm sure. So huge thanks to my counterpart, Jeff. We've got Alyssa up here. We've got Justin over here. And we've got the wonderful Heather over here. Thanks so much for you guys for volunteering to do this madness with me and attending this crazy musical vision. But we look forward to coming back for our final episodes, and we look forward to you being here with us. If you want to know a little bit more about InnRoads Ministries, see the show notes below. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/GameStoreProfits, and all that stuff will be down there below. And if you have any questions or any other commentary on how I've messed up the rules, I'll be glad to hear them because I'm always learning. So for now, thank you very much for being here. Go form a band, strike some chords, and get around a table. This is how you make some friends, wonderful friends that'll last a very, very long time. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you soon.